You know, it's like Adam Levine has like California written on his chest, and it's like I don't know if that he gave that much thought.
I'd say he remembers how to spell it. He should have it backwards so he can see it in the mirror.
Yeah. Well, he uses
and
the
so he can remember
camera.
how to. He needs to know how to spell it so he can send it in a text. Like, man, you're hotter than California.
You're out of fuck. I need to see the booty of California.
Freaking hell.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I will say though. He obviously was in the wrong because he has a wife and kids.
Protects themselves.
But I will say that I've sent a cringy. I have sent and will probably continue to send cringy sext type things.
It's a very hard thing to phrase because it's also like if say you're in person, you're making out with someone, and then you just stop for a second, and go, "Yep, that's what I like to see." You know,
yeah.
It's just like,
or
there's
even,
no good way to do it. Even if
like,
you're commenting on a friend's photo or something, you can be like, "Fucking go off, king! Hell yes!"
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody sent you like a sexy pic, and you go like, "That's great."
You're
doing a really good job with the lighting.
Dude, I've done that before where I didn't know somebody was flirting with me, and they sent me like a nice picture of them, but it wasn't like explicitly, like I learned later that it was an intent to flirt. It was with intent to flirt. Right. But I didn't know what the boundaries were, so I didn't want to comment on I didn't want to make a move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's a great photo. Which
5 stars.
Which I stand by, you know, because it's like
sending back a photo of you like this.
Yeah, I could have very easily misread the situation and then made that person uncomfortable, right? So I usually err on the side
better
of,
to go too light than too heavy.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to do something that I could like not like. I'm happy to cringe because it's like in that way than to cringe going the like other way. You know what I mean? Yeah, but exactly. when like two consenting parties are like it's sexting time or like. Which is what you do. It's like there's a whole.
Well, yeah, I turn my cat backwards.
Yeah.
It's time to sext.
There's a magical girl like transformation sequence.
Yeah, me spinning around, but it just takes off my shirt.
Yeah, you have it's like you get a bottle of lotion.
Yeah, closing the curtains in a montage.
This isn't actually from my own personal experience. But I don't want to give details of my own personal experience because that's more vulnerable than I want to be. But I'm imagining because like people make so for example, I'll be completely honest. I do not have a cum sock, but that is a thing that people have. So I was imagining like a montage of somebody going under their bed and like looking for their
like digging.
Yeah. Where is it?
Like shoebox out the way.
Yeah. But yeah, so when two consenting parties are like it's sexting time. You definitely send cringy stuff, right?
Sure,
like, because there's no, even if you were to take what people say in bed, like during, the act, that shit out of context is cringy. It's a whole like energy matching exercise where you're just like very, vulnerable with each other, but it's like cool because you're sharing that experience. And so you can kind of you can really just like say not weird stuff, But there is that thing of like, ooh, baby is not a thing that in most contexts is going to be considered hot. But given
talk about having to experiment with something, like throw it out and then just let it sit for a second and be like,
that's a thing too.
Fucking don't even worry about it.
That's a thing too. Like, it's the trial and error. So, if I guess there are younger people listening to this, sometimes you try stuff out. And it doesn't go, and you have to keep it moving. It's okay, and
you can acknowledge it. That's, I mean, the best like groupings, partnerships, or whatever. And I'm using that phrase because I'm even applying to like people that are ace, for example, where it is because sex is the funniest thing in the world. Like it truly is like, and I've had it, and I know where it goes, and I know how to do it, and I'm not confused. But don't even worry about it, and I know how to but.
You seem to be overcompensating. You're kind of dressing for the job you want, so to speak.
Well, no, I'm saying that there's no reason to be concerned because I'm not that, is what I'm saying. And it's weird that you keep bringing it up, actually.
Oh, right, yeah.
But there's like, for people maybe that are because there's two versions of what you said about going too far or saying too far back, right? Which is always err on the side of caution and don't, as you say, don't assume that the barista's flirting with you because they said your name in a nice way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they didn't say your name wrong at the Starbucks, so they must be interested. Writing your number on your coffee and giving it back. Full. But yeah, there's like, that's one side of it. And then on the side of, I'm sure for a lot of people, the question is, well, then how do I move it forward? It's just saying it out loud. It's just saying, it's completely okay to say like, hey, is this okay? Am I misreading this thing? Am I doing so-and-so? And good partnerships, good sex, if that's a component of that, always come from communication and understanding and clarity, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that can be really funny about that is when you have a good communicative relationship, you get to call yourself and the other person out on silly stuff. Like not to make them insecure, but you know your sense of humor. And it is funny. It like somebody sends you a text and you copy paste an Adam Levine response. You both know what that is, and you just think that's funny. Or
Right.
you send back like homina, awooga.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
exactly.
That can be fun and silly, but if you don't communicate and understand the tenor of what is fun and silly for you, somebody sends you a picture and you just say something like sarcastic, then you might just make that person feel bad.
Right.
And throwing out experimenting is hard, right? Like
experimenting is hard and it's vulnerable. I've been
what's up, babe?
Oh no, literally.
And like waiting and like
no, but like I've been experiencing what is clinically known as sexy times, I think.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And so like which I've done before so many times actually. Can't even keep track of how many sexy times I've had.
Sure, you keep saying that.
And like during the sexy times, I think I threw out a babe.
Yeah.
And then just in the heat of the moment. And then they were like, "Oh, don't like that." And I was like, "Okay."
Me neither, actually.
Did I
It's
say
crazy. I thought
did I say babe? I meant madam.
Dude, can I tell you something really fucking? This is like, I'm gonna switch to the least sexy anecdote of all time. But I was
because what I said was the sexiest anecdote.
It was cool, is what I was thinking. I was playing COD 4.
Wait, you said this wasn't sexy?
Yeah, well, slow down now.
I need to turn on the AC. Yeah.
I was playing with my friend, who I won't name because at one point he did steal money from my family. But we were playing Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, which, as many people know, has an especially sexy mode, sexy in a fun, cool gamer way.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that. I'm a gamer. I'm allowed to use the word.
Right. The word gamer or the word sexy? Both, actually. They're synonymous.
Only gamer.
Yeah.
In that case.
I'm allowed. Yeah, sexy. I'm allowed to use that word because I am sexy.
Because I'm cool, actually. And I have done it. And it's cool, good. And I know what kissing is. There is me and my friend, whose name I won't say, it was Steve. We were playing Spec Ops, which is like a series of scored mission types, PvE, so co-op against bots.
Yeah.
And we were stealthing. Sucks. We were stealthing through a mission, and this before I guess before any like major sexual experience on my part, so it is now only that I'm realizing how in a way tight this is. It said, this is so much more embarrassing than anything sexual. I was in front of, I was like moving forward and being stealthy, and I went, I'm on my 6. They tried to use like cool military slang and like at 11 o'clock and stuff like that. And
that's
he
funny.
Just roasted. Like I didn't get away with it for a millisecond.
That's funny.
And it was right. It was the the appropriate kind of bullying. And I remember my response to that, to try and get out of it, and I don't even know what the plan was. I said, "Oh no!" I said, "On my sex." Like, oh. Okay, it was like a weird pun, so it's not embarrassing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was rough. That stayed with me. I don't remember
It's
a
not
single
even that
teacher's
bad,
name.
but that's one of those things where, like, you know, if somebody roasts you for it, then you're like, oh, guess I can't get close to that.
It's because I so vividly remember knowing it was a gamble.
Oh yeah,
I remember going like, I need snake eyes.
isn't that
Daddy
the
needs a
worst?
new pair
Isn't
of
that the
shoes.
worst when you just like throw something out there?
Oh, actually, this is a good question. Since we're basking in some cringe, a twinge of cringe, if you will, see, I can do it too.
Nice.
What is your cringy sense of humor? Like a portion of your sense of humor, a type of joke you would make that, looking back on it now, was just like pretty shameful. Not even 2017, 2010, whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't even call it shameful, but just the amount that I used to quote Family Guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like, I mean, back when I was, what is this, like middle school? I don't even know. I actually think that when I listen back to the Random Podcast, the podcast that Russell and I had when I was 14,
Were you slam
like,
Heelys, I remember?
I'm like, these jokes are, I mean, like, there's a lot of swings and misses. But like the shape of the sense of humor is not bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
it's not miles away.
yeah, there's like a part where I like do a Snoop Dogg impersonation about him like getting high and not performing at a concert, and I'm like, honestly, this still hits. This is like
this bangs.
This would play in 2022.
Yeah, there's like it's also not the nuances of things we don't like about it are never at the time or in the future when we look back on it and wince a little bit, because I'm just, you know, I'm sure there's episodes of Sad Boyz where I'd even spot pieces that from early episodes where I don't identify with it anymore, and it's something that I've like shared.
Yeah. Oh wait,
I'm sure I could look back on that and still.
Yeah. To
like,
answer your question though, it's like to be honest, the stuff that was like casual transphobia and stuff that you know, as a young person, you just aren't like, I just wasn't aware of the context or the history behind the like Lady Gaga has a penis type jokes. Sure. And the attack helicopter stuff was like, when that started, I was so young that I didn't understand what the joke was. You know, I thought that the phrase attack helicopter was funny. That's all I got out of that. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a funny vehicle. What can I say?
Yeah. But that kind of stuff, I can't blame myself too much for being a product of the culture, but it doesn't make it right. You know what I mean?
Well, all I know is that neither of us at any point have like as a general rule, enjoy hurting people, right? That's not the default. And so, all I know is it's usually well-intentioned.
And so, yeah, as you learn more about, or just like taking risks with jokes that, you know, like when I was in middle school, I'm not going to name any names, but like.
Put that name with Steve.
But like Jewish friends would make jokes about Hitler or something like that. Or there would be like, or Holocaust jokes were a thing that like middle schoolers would make. I remember vividly. And I had to like learn when I was like 12 or 13 or whatever that I'm not allowed to make those jokes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, or the other types of things, would be the types of jokes that were sort of for a white audience, like making sort of racial jokes at my own expense for a white audience. So like playing that up. Yeah.
Oh, but wait, no, we found it. That is the comedy component of my teen years that I regret the most. Upwards to like, I don't know, like 20, maybe not much after that. It was definitely never part of my personality after I moved.
I thought you said 2020. I was like, Jordan, that was yesterday.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, it cracked me up.
Yeah. And you were like, fried chicken and grape soda. That's
ding. Which is even like less. It was even more insincere and artificial because I didn't grow up in America, so even the parody at play just didn't apply at all. But I would do an African American accent. Quote, like as a joke, and the joke, of course, was just that I only knew white people. Yeah, that I couldn't find anyone else where I'm from. And the joke was, hey, I'm pointing out the exclusion, A, before you can, and B, it's easy. It's like an easy dub. It's like an easy win. It would be my
Right.
default amongst people I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, you're
And
like
that was
one
even
of the good
edgier,
ones
right?
or whatever.
You don't
yeah.
even know me, but you're saying like, like the joke would be they say, they just say hi, and I'm like, what? Because I'm black? You said you had to say hi to me. It's just like it's a shortcut to being different, being challenging. Part of it was insecurity. Part of it was like, I'm doing this before anybody else can. But the other part was, I want to be the funny guy, and it works.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to be the family guy.
Yeah, you're pressing buttons, and you're like, what button makes people laugh? And you're like, okay, I'll
Sure.
keep pressing this one.
Yeah, square peg, square hole, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I'm winning.
And I think that one thing that's changed over the years is like I've matured as a human is just like who's laughing and why, you know? And I think that that's like what I've cared about a lot more, right?
And what's the source of people that aren't laughing? Like if I get a negative comment and I'm just, at one point in my life, I do feel kind of thankful that I've only ever established any kind of platform as somebody in their late 20s.
Yeah.
Because there are types of feedback and areas of my comedy or personality that I've been self-conscious about that I've either grown out of or realized I shouldn't be self-conscious about. And I have the experiences to tell me that I just absolutely axiomatically shouldn't be and that there's no point in dwelling on it.
Right.
And so if I'm in a relatively good mood and somebody points something out about the way that I look or the type of joke that I'm enjoying or my performance in general, it's now very, very easy to go, no, I'm sick.
Yeah.
No, I'm the best. Are you crazy? Like what are you going on about? And
yeah.
You know, I've had enough positive, healthy relationships to if somebody says you're ugly, I just go like, well, I mean, I'm not ugly enough. Like things or I'm being rude or mean or also to understand that anybody that's calling somebody else ugly is doing it from such a sinister place that it's really not somebody you should value the opinion of. Or it's just like there's defaults that you can hop to, and not that like if somebody does consider themselves unattractive, that well then the feedback is actually valid. It's just you get to know a certain type of person, and when I hear that kind of rhetoric from somebody online, and I've met people like that in real life, I can see them behind the keyboard, and it just robs them of like any kind of damage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it. Girl, too rich for me.